All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to say it's about 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter, and this little black spot that you're seeing is Ashes, who was paying not one bit of attention to me until I said, "How's it, everybody?" And suddenly she wants to be a star. So good to see you guys here. Had to miss you last night, but I am so happy we could be here today. It was a stream. It's a stream that almost didn't happen. Super stoked that Terry's in the house, Gina's in the house, Shock and Rick, of course, in the house. Shock talking about you just lost 25 minutes of your life to a bogus documentary about the Terracotta Warriors. Oh, bummer. It was, I don't know what you mean by bogus. It was just crummy or it was just full of lies. And let's see here. Everybody wants to rule the world. That is true, says Tears for Fears. But hey, Lady Misty, good to see you. And Darlene also in the house. Alrighty, we've got one black cat here. Why don't we get into the black cat intro? And we'll have two black cats on the screen. But first, we're going to say, hey, Kenny from the Cove. Good to see you. All right, let's do it. Boop. Alrighty then. It looks like Andre is in the house as well, bragging that he got a meal, but he's eating his dessert first. Yum. And hey, Andre, thank you so much for gifting that sub to Carl in Arkansas. All right, you guys, we are, yeah, exactly, Rick. Nothing wrong with dessert first. In fact, I kind of wonder, and boy, once again, chalk this up to, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But, wouldn't it be better for your blood sugar to eat the dessert first and then eat the real food, as opposed to the real food and then the blood and then the sugary stuff at the last? Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But I always had this feeling that maybe, just maybe, it's actually better for you to eat your dessert first. I'm sure other people know way better than I do. But let's see here. Shock is complaining for, I guess, a real reason. So, dude was showing Egyptian chariots and architecture and 19th century violins in the hands of a terracotta warrior. And I was like, oh no, he's not going to deliver on the headline. Oh, yeah, no, that's not, I mean, are we talking about the same terracotta warriors? The ones from China? The ones from a long time ago? Like, way before the 19th century? Are those the terracotta warriors that you're referring to? Because that's what I think of, is the Chinese ones. They were underground and, yeah, about 200 BCE. Right, exactly, yeah. No, that's not the same. No, that's not the same. And let's see here. All right, Trail Dust. Hey, all. Now you got to go get dessert. And let's see here. Rick coming in with the reality. It's just best not have dessert because then you won't spike your blood sugar. True. But and let's see here. Kenny coming in with the realistic realism. As someone with type 2 diabetes, I can tell you it doesn't have a beneficial effect to eat the dessert first. Okay, well, it just, it seemed like a good idea at the time, right? And Shock saying, yes, she too would be type 2 if she ate carbs. Exactly. And let's see here. It looks like Shock was saying, nope, food first, then sugar gets soaked up by the food. But if you put the sugar in first, it hits immediately. Oh, right. That actually does make sense, too. Yes. Okay, yeah. These are things I'll know, but, didn't really connect the dots. And hey, Lady Misty coming in. Carps. Not carbs. Carps, apparently, is what I want to say. She wrote carbs. Carbs just spike the blood sugar. True. True. And let's see here, Andre. It's cold, rainy, and didn't want to go out. You got Mediterranean food, and that's kind of healthy. Exactly, that's kind of healthy. There you have it, Rabbit. All right, so for those of you who don't know, today's show almost didn't happen. Because here's the deal, y'all. Andre, carbs won't spike your blood sugar. No, probably not. They're high in protein, I think. And so what happened, you see, you guys, I don't know if you remember, but on Wednesday, I was bragging about how, wait, did I not say hi to Cora to Capricorn? Because I think I did in my head, but I might not have out loud. So Cora, hi, in case I didn't say hi. And let's see here. So, oh, awesome, Gina, you spent some time outside. I did not spend some time outside. I spent my day traveling to and from in a tow truck and now in a little Acura. Because here's the thing, you guys, my Subaru broke, my car broke. And you know how I was supposed to take James Mane to to Tacoma from Seattle? Maybe you don't know, but if you were here last stream, you would know that I was looking forward to seeing James Mane, picking him up at the airport at 6 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, and I was going to drive him down to Tacoma where he had a show on Thursday night. I was going to be at that show even. It was going to be fun. It was going to be fabulous. James even said that sometimes when he doesn't have a show with Andy Bumatai and it's going to be an adults-only show, he gets a little bit raunchier. And I was very excited to see James Mane's raunchier mood. But you see, as soon as we got onto the freeway, I had to go up a hill and my car wouldn't, basically. So James was like, and I was like, both of us were like, I think we need to get off the freeway, which we did. So I managed to pick him up on one side of the airport, and then we drove around to the other side of the airport, and that's about as far as we got. And then James had to take an Uber down to Tacoma, and I felt really bad. But I called my mechanic, and my mechanic said, "Oh, I think your clutch is slipping." And then I didn't really believe him, so I continued to describe what was going on. And he said, "Yeah, I think your clutch is slipping." And then I kept talking, and he was like, "Yeah, your clutch is slipping. You need a new clutch. Stop driving your car." So I drove my car home, and it parked in the driveway, and I didn't get to go see James. And then, because my best friend is a mechanic, he's gonna fix it for me. But you guys, $2,300 to fix my clutch. Oh my god. And Rick saying no power up hills could also be the EGR valve. I don't know about that, but I know that I do think it's the clutch that's slipping, because first off, it's getting harder to put stuff into gear, and then also it revs a lot, but then it eventually catches, and it eventually gets, I don't know. All I know is Dell will be able to tell what's going on. I definitely trust him. And let's see here. Shock, do I think you'd have learned about this so soon if you didn't have a 6'7", 400-pound Samoan in the car with you? Actually, Shock, I don't. No, I think what it was trying to go up the hill at 50 or 60 miles an hour made it just patently obvious. I noticed that my car was not quite right for quite a few weeks now, but I couldn't really put my finger on what is it that's not right, And so it was the hill. However, that was actually James's first concern, because he's got really long legs and I have a manual transmission, and he was like, I wonder if my knee knocked your transmission out of gear. And so then he was very careful to make sure that didn't happen, and then we continued to try, and James had nothing to do with my car breaking down. Now, in regards to Kenny from the Cove, have I checked the clutch fluid? I have no idea, Kenny. I have no idea at all. And so, but what I do know is Dell will be able to tell all that, and Dell will tell me whether or not it needs to really happen or not. Because here's the deal, you guys. Even though it's $2,300 to go through Meineke, where he works, he's going to do it off the clock. So I'm only going to have to pay $1,400. So I'm very stoked about that. It's the same guy who'd be doing the work either way. It's the same shop that would be the shop that the work is getting done in. It's the same materials, etc. So I'm not like cutting any corners, except for I don't have to pay Dell's wages through Meineke at $185 an hour. I will be able to pay him much, much, much less. So I'm very happy about that. And I do trust him not to just be like, oh, you need 80,000 parts that I don't really need. So I am hoping that it's something easy, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because 2024 is turning into a year where I'm basically hemorrhaging money from car repairs to home repairs and everything in between. Nothing is going to be for free this year. Nothing is going to be for free. And yeah, clutch is a wear item. The car's got 167,000 miles on it. And it is the factory clutch, we're pretty sure. So it pretty much, it's not at all surprising that it needs to be changed. It's not like I just, got a new clutch or whatever. And yes, whoever asked, I think it might have been Shock, Dell will be getting a few cases of beer. There's no two ways about that. And Rick is saying it's like putting a potato in the exhaust pipe if the EGR is plugged. Yeah, and I had an EGR issue with my Saturn back in the day, but this is not manifesting the same symptomology, I guess. Then again, I have come to realize that cars can have the same problem and manifest so differently. I don't know how many times I've had to replace clutches. I've had, for the past, almost 30 years, I've only driven manual transmission cars, and I've had my cars into the 200,000, 300,000 mile range. So I've had to replace a clutch or two. And I have to say, every single clutch goes out differently. Like, it is so bizarre, the symptoms and the signs. Just when you think you've figured out what it feels like when a clutch goes out, nope, not in that car. Nope, not in that clutch. I don't know. And let's see here. Oh, you had an O2 sensor, says Shock. That was issue that was causing your manual to stall out at stops on the way home from Rochester. Whee! Yeah, that would be very annoying. That would be very annoying. And Kenny from the Cove, let me tell you, auto mechanic and her gearhead friends are a beautiful thing to have. But you know what? And Mama Sean, you are spoiled. But I'll tell you what, dude, it is getting to the point now with all the electronics that even if your people can fix the cars, they can't anymore. Because if they don't have the stupid computers to talk to your stupid car computer. Now, my car is only 2004, so that's not an issue. But symptomology is your staturism for today. Yep, there you go. That's right, Terry in Scotland. Excuse me. Oh, I don't even remember what I was talking about now with Dell in my car and clutches going out and whatever. All right, you guys. So that's been my week, and this is going to be too much information for you, but I'll tell you right now, I've been a little bit stressed, and consequently, my armpits stink like anxiety. I've got anxiety sweats, you guys. Do you guys ever have that when you're really stressed? Your sweat suddenly just like smells awful. Or maybe because I'm stressed, I'm just more tuned into my smells. I care more. I don't know. Like I said, way too much information here. Way too much information. And let's see here. Now, Gina, you are oh wait, hold on. Darlene, you had pulled pork for dinner? I'm a little bit jealous. But Gina, Thank you, Shock. I'll change that. What? So you've got a new little friend. Is it a ukulele? Is that I missed what you were getting in the mail, and you keep talking about your little friend, and because it's little and because it's got strings, I'm assuming it's a smaller ukulele. Okay, cool. All right. So I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure, and it sounds like the littler one is easier for you to fiddle faddle with. So that's cool. Did I make that up? I feel like you said that. Not here, but there on the other social medias. All right, so just so everybody's clear, Gina got a new ukulele. It's little, she likes it better, it's easier to play. And that makes me very happy. Because I cannot play stringed instruments. I don't know why I can't play stringed instruments, so I'm just in awe that anybody can. And Andre, that car stress, yep, like, wait, hold on. Yep, like trying to get a wounded car back home and not have it die on the freeway. Yes. Yeah, that was exactly it. And honestly, to tell you the truth, that's exactly what James was saying. He's like, because I pulled off the road and I was like, here's a Jack in the Box here I can park in and maybe we can call you an Uber. And he's like, how about we try to get your car closer to your house before we stop driving, because once we stop driving, you might not be able to get it back into gear again and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, oh, that's a really good point, James. And so we hobbled closer to my house. And then where we ended up stopping and we ate breakfast, was pretty much just uphill from my house. So it's kind of just a downhill. Like, I had a feeling I could get back home from where I was, and as it turns out, I was able to. So, Trail Dust, you've had things break in your car that you didn't know existed. Well, that's most of the things in my car. I don't know what they are. And let's see here. Back when you lived in anxiety stress lane, your anxiety stress smelled like, what do you imagine? Impending doom smells like. Right, yeah, exactly, dude. Like, anxiety stress sweat is just stinky poo. And so, okay, so wait, Gina, you've got the concert size one and then the tenor size one. Is the tenor size one bigger or littler than the concert one? For some reason, I thought the concert one was bigger, but I might be lying. And Darlene, it's cool that I have a friend that can help me out, such as a nice perk with a friend like Dell. Darlene, you don't even know. You don't even know the truth to what you're saying, because I still haven't mentioned this part yet. So I had to take a tow truck down to Tacoma, which is about 30 miles from my house. Had to take my car with the tow truck to Tacoma. How am I not stuck in Tacoma, you must ask? Did I take an expensive $70 Uber ride home? No, I did not. What I did do, though, was drive Dell's car home, because Dell is lending me one of his cars for the next week while he's fiddle-faddling with my car. So, not only do I have a cheap mechanic, I also have a built-in free rental car when I need one. You don't even know. You don't even know how lucky I am. You don't even know. Well, now you know, I guess. And I do too. And Andre, at least I live close to the airport with lots of ways to get home without being on the freeway. Yes, that's true. But the problem is, so true, but the problem is a lot of the side roads, Andre, are very hilly. And the hills are kind of the problem. And so even if I got on the side roads, I'm not so sure I could have made it home. But you know, luckily everything worked out just wonderfully. And so tenor size is bigger, says Gina. Okay. And Shock is saying, I thought concert would be big, but no, tiny. I thought tenor would be small, you know, because tenor vocal range is higher, but no. So you have no clue who named these things. Exactly. That's kind of how I feel about it. And Kenny, in 84, in your 70 Buick Land Yacht, broke down in the upper deck of the I-35. It took 6 of you to push that battleship off the interstate. Dude, that sounds like a nightmare, because I-35, I'm sure even in 84 was a nightmare. I-35 is just a nightmare. And yes, Shock, you should envy me, my mechanic. And yeah, he definitely deserved baked goods, beer, or a meal. Absolutely, yes. I will probably be making him a pan of lasagna, and also give him some beer. I'll probably give him a bottle of my Jason Momoa vodka, but he doesn't like vodka. Well, actually, that's not true. He likes vodka a little bit too much, so he doesn't drink vodka. So I don't really know if he wants the vodka. But yeah, I've got plans. And yeah, Shock, I do love my mechanic. Here's the thing though, Shock, I've got like 5 bottles of I've got 4 bottles of Jason Momoa vodka. Only one of them, I still have some of that vodka. I drink beer mostly. Like, I really don't drink hard alcohol very often at all. And so, I've still got 3 full bottles of Jason Momoa vodka, and then another bottle in my freezer that's 2/3 of the way full. So yes, I will sacrifice a Momoa on the altar of the clutch, but he might not want that sacrifice, in which case I will keep it. And Lady Misty, you had coffee ice cream with Peeps. That sounds kind of bizarre, but how do you... I was just about to ask, how are you getting Peeps? Easter's coming up, isn't it? I didn't need to realize that. Because you see, Easter... Some people have their favorite candy. It's Peeps, right? You know, you can only get it like basically once a year-ish. Sometimes, I guess, at Christmas. They have different ones, maybe? Or Halloween, do they? I don't know. I don't like Peeps. But if I don't die by saying, psst, psst, let me pet you to a wild animal the way I think, I'm going to die choking on Cadbury mini eggs. Cadbury mini eggs, not the cream eggs. The little pure chocolate ones with the sugar coating that looks like a little egg. I would die for those. I love those. And I forgot that, I forgot that it is the season for those. I better not go to the store because I'm trying not to eat sugar, and I'm doing sort of good. I'm doing way better with no gluten than I am with no sugar, but I'm doing pretty good on both. But wow, yeah, I forgot, that it's the time of year for my yummiest, most favorite candy. All right then. Andre, talk about cars. You were lucky when you had your alternator go out right before getting on the Bay Bridge, and I just pulled over and wondered what you were going to do. Some guy pulled over behind you, asked if you need help, pushed you, and asked if you... Oh, he pushed me off the freeway, and you were lucky. Yeah, totally, dude. Very lucky. And Kenny was saying it was a nightmare because it was 8:30 at night. The nearest auto parts store was in a dangerous neighborhood. We had been on our way to party on 6th Street when it happened. Oh, dude, totally. You're on your way to 6th Street. For those of you who don't know, 6th Street in Austin is basically where South by Southwest Music Festival takes place. There are countless bars, countless music venues, countless nightclubs, countless everything you could want to do on 6th Street. So they were getting ready to party, and yeah, no car. That would suck. And let's see here. Oh, Lady Misty, you love Jack Black jelly beans? Well, that's good to know. because I don't like them at all. And so now if I ever get black jelly beans, I know who to give them to. And I'll know that you've been eating them because your teeth and your gums will be all funny and gray. Yep, there you go. You're stoked that you love the black ones, because a lot of people don't like the black ones, right? So you've got to you must, get all the extras that nobody likes. You must be super stoked. And let's see here. You'd love me even more. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. All right, so Trail Dust is saying dig. I don't know what he's talking about, dig, but I can tell you right now, we have got some, black licorice ice cream. Oh, dude, I'll leave that all for you, and I'll tell that you were eating it because your tongue will probably be black, right? There you go. But speaking of digging, you guys, we've got a problem here in the Pacific Northwest, and people are blaming the crows, but it's not the crows' fault. I mean, it is, because they're the ones doing the damage, sort of. But here's the deal. I love crows, and crows love to eat, so I have no problem with what the crows are doing because I don't think that lawns are very important. Lawns don't need to happen. Lawns are silly. And crows, I guess, they think that lawns are silly too. And here's the deal. I've got a news story explaining what the flying fork it is I am talking about. So let's watch, shall we? Let's talk about crows. Boop.
This Federal Way backyard is an oasis.
Just keeping it natural, trying to do what I can to help, the native flora and fauna.
Created by Camille Perezelski to welcome flying friends.
My 3-year-old knows, names of birds and, will call it out.
Until recently, when one specific kind took over.
I did not expect this, and at the ferocity at which they went to task was pretty insane.
It's a widespread problem in this neighborhood. A murder of crows destroying lawns. At each crime scene, blades of grass and a mess. So we called in backup.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Gardening expert Cisco Morris says the criminal might not be the obvious culprit, despite the damage.
Because this is becoming a big problem. As you can see, your neighbors got it. And
But together,
All right.
they can dig a little deeper and get to the root of it.
break that up a little. Let's see if we see something in there.
Within seconds, the real suspect is revealed.
That's a European chafer beetle grub.
An invasive species found in the Pacific Northwest only in the last 10 years.
It's kind of like a horror story,
The beetles, just as bad for lawns as crows, if not worse.
They're eating the roots, so they're wrecking your lawn either way, whether the crows. It's not going to look like this, but it's going to thin out really bad.
So while the crows seem like the suspects,
Unfortunately, they could be, they're kind of sloppy eaters,
they're actually the heroes.
You've got pests, and then the beneficials come in and eat up the bad guys, and it is kind of the circle of all of it. And so crows, they are actually helping out, hard to believe as it is.
And with this new development, Camille is back to welcoming all birds to her home, even the murder of crows.
They are back on my friend list here, no longer in the doghouse, as it were.
This criminal investigation,
Thank you for figuring this out. Gross.
now complete.
Case closed.
Cisco says if the crows eat enough, they might be able to get rid of the grubs naturally. But if not, he has some very detailed suggestions for how to keep them away. If you want that information, text the word crows to 206-448-4545 and we'll send you a link. For Environment Northwest, I'm meteorologist Leah Pizzetti.
Shock. That's brilliant. Yes, exactly. She called in the master gardener for probable cause. That is precisely it. For those of you who don't know, that gentleman who was pointing out the true culprits, the grubs, he is a master gardener in the Seattle area named Cisco. He's got I think he's got like a weekly segment on, I want to say Channel 5, King 5 News. He's sort of a local celebrity. Basically, I don't know if you've ever heard of a gardener named Ed Hume. Ed Hume has seed packets that we sell up here in the Pacific Northwest. Ed Hume used to be the Pacific Northwest gardener that was on TV, et cetera, et cetera. When Ed Hume finally retired, Cisco basically took his place. And so now Cisco is kind of our Ed Hume, as it were. One thing that that Ed Hume used to do back in the day, because this was like the 1970s and stuff when Ed Hume was around. Ed Hume used to, one of the reasons why people loved Ed Hume so much is because back in the 70s, you know, before cannabis was legalized, yet everybody was doing it and growing it, Ed Hume would give weed growing tips, but you had to be he gave them in code, basically. So whenever he talked about growing tomatoes, he wasn't talking about growing tomatoes. And so, so it was kind of, you had to know, you had to know what you were listening for, but he definitely knew his audience and who the avid gardeners were at the time. And yeah, he definitely played his cards well. And Ed Hume actually, I don't have them, but Ed Hume is a Northwest seed producer. He has a farm down in Puyallup, and so I basically only buy my seed stocks from Ed Hume. So all of the peas that I'm going to be growing this season are coming from Ed Hume. And one of the reasons why I use Ed Hume seeds is not only is it locally sourced, but he's a local gardener who knows the local varieties that will grow here. And so I don't really need a pumpkin seed that was developed to grow in South Carolina. That's not going to be helpful for my climate up here, right? And Kenny, did Ed try to ever sell weed seeds? Not publicly. I have no idea what he did on the black market. I have no idea what he did underground. But no, he never sold weed seeds. And let's see here. Did Ed tell you not to do this or not to do that? Yes, sometimes he would. You know, I mean, he definitely would. Although he was really more, I think, proactive, or like, you know, it's like, for success, do this type of thing. And let me see here. Hold on. Shock is saying there was a bong kit you could buy with specific instructions on how not to assemble it. Exactly. Precisely. And Terry coming in with all facts. The grubs are the larvae of the European Schaefer, a non-native scarab beetle first spotted in Washington State in 2008. By 2016, the Schaefer had taken up permanent residence near the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Well, that is precisely and exactly where I live, my friend Terry. I mean, I am literally like 5 minutes from the airport. And yes, indeedy, the lawns all around West Seattle and my neighborhood, like, yeah, nobody's lawn is safe from that beetle. And the crows they just tear it up, man. But my logic always was, you kind of need to aerate your little grass roots anyway. And if there's bugs in there, obviously they're going to be doing damage to the grass anyway. And like I said at the beginning, I don't really think lawns are that important of a feature in your yard. I'd rather see other stuff. So, so they kill a few lawns. I mean, they're invasive and they're non-native. They need to go. But as far as like the damage that they do, meh. And let's see here. Your grandmother's brother used to get his pot seeds from the birdseed mix. Yeah, actually they used to. Oh yeah, Kenny, they used to. And then I don't know what they got wise to that actually. Because I remember in the late 80s trying to do that, and they either removed the hemp seeds from the mix or they sterilized them beforehand or something. But yeah, they totally did used to have weed seeds in in the birdseed mix. Absolutely. Because cannabis seeds are really oily. They're really healthy to eat. They really are good for the birds. But they're good for other things too. And Andre, no, you didn't see that many lawns in Burien. Burien is definitely not a lawn priority place. But also, though, actually, one thing in the Pacific Northwest that is kind of nice, we don't value our lawns that much. So much so that in July, August, and September, nobody has a green lawn. It just doesn't. They don't. They let their lawns die because of the drought, because that's July, August, and September are our most drought, the least rainfall of the year. And so everybody's lawn just turns brown. But then the moment the rains start again, it boom, greens up again. So basically nobody bothers to waste their water during the summer months because we don't have a lot of homeowners association neighborhoods around here that require such frou-frou upkeep, or whatever you would call it. And let's see here, Andre, he did it in the 30s. Wow, he died in a car crash, and your grandma blamed on him being a pothead and did not care for pot anywhere near her till way later in life. Got it. Kenny, random thought. What if you took the honey that bees make from pollinating weed? You could sell it and call it sweet and high instead of sweet and low. I see what you did there. That is hysterical. And I don't know if the honey okay, let's start over again. People are using cannabis flowers for their beekeeping. And the bees actually really do like the nectar off of it. All of the weed plants that I've seen growing outside, the honeybees definitely enjoy them. But THC is fat soluble and alcohol soluble. So I am not sure that the THC would transfer into the honey. And if it did transfer into the honey, eating it without activating it, and by activating it, that means bringing it to a certain temperature, I don't know whether or not it would get you high. So, right, sugar, yeah, honey is all sugar. And so, first off, I'm not even sure that the THC molecule would even transfer into the honey. But let's just say it did. Let's just say it did. I don't know if eating it would, you'd have to heat it for a certain amount of time to a certain amount of temperature to activate that THC. So I just don't know if it really would. Now, Andre's suggesting something that might be interesting, is making mead from pot flower honey. Okay. And yes, Kenny, I would definitely buy it for research purposes as well. But chemically speaking, I'm really not sure if it would get you high, or if any of the cannabinoids would even transfer to the sugar, the honey. So, but that's a really good. But people are making honey with cannabis. Okay, so shock coming in from Google. There is no THC in the funny honey. But you know what? I do think that it might be a cute marketing ploy to say that it came from weed and then call it funny honey. I mean, it doesn't, you obviously, does not get you high, blah, blah, blah. But you could use that as a marketing, funny honey. I think that's cute, actually. And hey, Devin, let's see here. Hold on. Let's see here. You know that THC is soluble in alcohol and fat. I've always wondered how they make the gummies then. Oh, that's easy. The gummies don't have weed in them. The gummies are coated with an oil that has weed in it. So all of those gummies that you guys, that you're buying, they aren't pouring gelatin into molds and making these gummies. They're buying gummies in bulk, and then they're processing them with a oil coating that has THC in it. And then it's coated with that. And that's how everybody who makes gummies that are infused make them in my world. There might be another way, but that's how I know how they're made. So the gelatin there's no THC in the gelatin, I guess is what I was saying. And all right, so we've got a lot of people who are saying a lot of things. And red clover has lots of vitamin K. I didn't know that, but I used to suck on little red clovers when I was a little kid, because the little leaves the little flower petals kind of taste like they have honey on them. I like them. And so Andre's saying, cannabis-infused honey, also referred to as canna honey, is a tasty way to consume cannabis, whether recreational or medicinal. Infusing marijuana with honey allows you to reap the benefits proffered by cannabis sativa without having to take a single hit off a joint. This article will guide you through. Oh, okay, so so you can make it at home, I guess. So it's probably just whipping honey and oil together to make the cannabis infused oil. And yes, bees totally love clover. That's why when you see honey in the store, it's oftentimes clover honey. And Kenny, if you can put THC in a gummy, you can put it in honey. True, but it's not in it, it's on it. The gummy, that is. I don't know about the honey because I didn't read the article yet. And let's see here. Darlene, red clover, where do you get red clover? Red clover is pretty much all that grows around here. It's clover, but instead of the white flowers, they're kind of purplish pink. That's what we call red clover out here, at least. And let's see here. Devin, I have a severely high tolerance to edibles, as do I. The oil, oh man, some of them are really oily. You're right. Exactly, dude. That's what it is. It's the oil. Yep. And let's see here. Terry, I have heard about that cannabis-infused beer, and quite honestly, I don't think it's a good idea. As someone who has imbibed regularly in both at the same time, it's like, you kind of have to be a pro to be able to handle that, man. Because I'll tell you what, in my beginning years back in the day, there's no way I could smoke weed and drink beer at the same time. That was a recipe for the spins and the vomits. Now, as an adult, I have since come over there. I've come over that hump, but this combo is not for beginners. Not even close to beginners. No. Bad idea. Who ever thought of that doesn't know what they're doing. And yeah, Kenny, there are edibles, especially the chocolate varieties that have THC in them, of course, because chocolate has fat in it. The moment you can put oil or butter or coconut oil or Crisco oil or any kind of, cocoa butter, you can have THC can get all up in her. And yeah, Lady Misty, exactly. It grows wild. Yeah, red clover grows wild here as well. And LLB. All right. Yep. We'll get there in a minute. There, Shock. But hold on. Let's see here. No good if you have an overflow of rodents because vitamin K makes them survive poison. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah, you gotta eradicate your clover. And Darlene saying you only see here a little white and even creamy, almost yellow, but not red. Interesting. Oh, I wonder if we can somehow get Darlene some red clover seeds here. And let's see here. So pot ice cream could be a thing. Pot ice cream already is a thing, actually. I don't know if you can get it in Washington, but I'm 99% sure I've heard of it in California. And so yeah, that's already been done. I've never tried it, but that has been done. And let's see here. I've thought about medicinals for like anxiety, but not sure at all. Well, Gina, you know, when it comes to the anxiety stuff, honestly, you're gonna want to probably stick with maybe a CBD instead of a THC. But if you are gonna go a combo CBD THC route, I really, if you've got anxiety, I cannot emphasize this enough. A sativa is not what you want. Indica is what you're gonna want to be looking for, because there's two main varieties of cannabis plants: sativas, which grow in the equatorial regions, and then the indicas, which grow in the northern hemisphere. And I can get into all the details of how they're different, but I'm going to not do that. I'm just going to basically sum it up in the most basic ways. Sativas give you energy and amp you up. Indicas make you stoned and make you want to go to sleep. I have smoked weed for a very long time, more than half my life. Very rarely do I get an anxiety issue with weed. But if I am ever gonna take weed, cannabis somehow, usually as an edible, and it's gonna throw me into an anxiety fit, it's always a sativa. So if you've got anxiety problems, no sativa. I cannot emphasize that enough for you. No sativa. CBD only, or CBD only, or CBD, THC, THC indica variety. And Shock, you just explained to me why your ex could not do weed. Absolutely. I know plenty people who, even though the stereotype is, you know, weed gets you stoned, man. I know a lot of people who, when I was in college, you know, people were trying stuff and they would take some weed and they would just get paranoid and anxious, and it was just awful. And it's the sativa varieties that are gonna send you in that direction. Now, if you're already prone to it, maybe an indica might, but it's a sativa that is going to just wreck you. And yeah, his sense of time was also thrown off. That's fairly common too. And yes, Colorado probably does have weed ice cream. And let's see here. Oh, wait, Andre, no pot ice cream. We got rules about pot and food. Just a bit changing now. Okay. And let's see here. Andre, I had a friend whose speed would calm them down, but pot would speed them up. But it did not work with heroin. Yeah, it sounds like your friend was probably ADHD. ADHD people, sometimes when they do speed, it sort of chills them out, focuses them, makes them a little bit more steady, which is why we give speed to ADHD kids. That being said, never ever doubt you're giving your child speed. You are. Even though it's medicinal, it is still speed. So on that note, switching gears completely, let's do a U-turn. It is time for a Lono listening break, and I don't remember what song we're going to listen to. I think it's a song that you can't find. Yes, we're going to be listening to a song that is only found on Lono's Kaupe'epe'e YouTube page. It is not a song that he originally did, and it's a song by Palani Vaughn. So, let's figure out how to push this button. Here we go. Boop.
Okay, hang on. and the cakey and now kind of like my come all alone you go. Akio kalani ope kame ka kona iloa. Kai ka holo I ke alau a iwanuku. Kai ka holo I shuku mua o Hawaii. Shuku mua o Hawaii. Shuku mua o Hawaii.
All right, there we go. So, let's see here, $35 a gram. Yeah, well, let me see here, actually. Everything you're all talking about is illegal here in Wisconsin, but if there's a will, there is a way. Exactly, there is a way. So let me see, actually, I might have lied. I need to figure out what this is. So no, okay, 3.5 grams. Here we go. Here we go, you guys. So this is, let's see if we can, this is cannabis oil, activated cannabis oil. And so all you need is to squeeze like a little grain of rice size piece onto a piece of peanut butter and you're good to go. And there's 3.5 grams of cannabis oil in that little syringe thing for $35. So it's $10 a gram, basically. Which is much, much, much cheaper than to make your own edibles out of that stuff than to buy the prepackaged edibles. So, and yes, we do have people blowing up houses trying to make hash oil. Which to me is just silly and stupid because you can go buy hash oil down the street from my house. Less than a mile in all directions. Multiple storefronts. All of them already done. You don't have to worry about blowing up your house. You don't have to worry about if it's butane extracted or CO2 extracted. You don't have to worry about how clean it is because it's been examined by the state. Yeah, I don't know why people, I don't know why they try to make that stuff at home. And yeah, Andre, of course, there's always going to be a black market. I mean, you know, we still have illegal moonshine sales, for goodness sake, right? But the vast majority of it is going through the legal channels, right? And so, and let's see here. Shock sounds more reasonable, and I did not even know you could buy it like that. I don't know if you can everywhere, but I know that in Washington you can. And it's called activated oil. So if you ever go to a place and you ask them, do you have any activated oils? They might know what you're talking about. And if they don't, then they probably don't have them. And let's see here. They also steal a lot of it from the legal dispensaries. Yeah, that is unfortunate, but I mean, people shoplift booze a lot too, so you know, and actually, speaking of people shoplift booze, that's another black market. Like, you can buy stolen booze for cheaper than you can buy it at the store. So even, you know, I mean, every legal market has its own underground. I mean, there's an underground market for laundry soap, for goodness sake. And let's see here. Moonshine is legal to make here, but it's just not legal to sell. Exactly. Pot is the same way. Cannot buy, but you can grow your own. Right. But you do know that people who make their own moonshine do sell it too. They know they're not supposed to, but they do. same thing with those gardeners that we're talking about. And the state doesn't like people getting in on the monopoly that is liquor in Virginia, not to mention standards. Exactly. And yeah, the state of Washington used to have a monopoly over all the liquor stores as well. But then Costco wanted to start selling booze at Costco. And so basically Costco changed the law for the state of Washington. I mean, it was voted in, but Costco was behind the big push. And so now we can buy booze at our grocery stores, but it costs about twice as much as what it used to. Unless, of course, you go to Costco. Yeah, so they made it easier for us, but they also made it more expensive for us, unless you go to Costco. And since I'm not a member of Costco, and I don't go to Costco, I guess I'm just gonna have to buy my vodka from Jason Momoa. And let's see here, Andre. No, they take out the warehouses. We had a cop killed when he went to a robbery to a dispensary the second time in one night. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, those. Yeah, those. Homie don't play when they're going for stuff like that. Absolutely, absolutely. But that's what the cop is supposed to do, is supposed to keep legitimate businesses from being robbed. That is part of their job. And let's see here. Shock, when Keone visits me, he'll ask me to drive him to the Costco. Then you can have the Costco experience. He has a card. There you go. Oh, honey. I've had plenty Costco experiences. I've been going to Costco since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Costco's have been in this neck of the woods for a very, very, very long time. But the reason why, it's not that I have a problem with Costco, actually. It's just that it's a pain in the butt of a store to go to, and I'm only me. So, I don't need a crate of anything. I don't need 14 avocados. I don't need a case full of quesadillas. I don't need, and all the stuff that I end up getting at Costco is stuff I don't need in my house, because I will live on frozen egg rolls if you let me. And if I go to Costco and buy a frozen egg roll, I will only live on frozen egg rolls. I don't need that. So but yes, I will. If Keone does come visit, I will take him to the Costco. I will let him do his little thing, or his big thing, as it were, at Costco. Ain't nothing little at Costco. Not once, nothing little. And let's see here. You wonder if there's any major differences between Costco and I'm assuming you mean Sam's Club? Yeah, I don't know. I've never set foot in Sam's Club, so I have no idea. I have no clue. At Sam's Club, do they stop you at the back, when you're leaving, do they stop you and check your receipt to make sure? I don't really know what they're doing, but do they? Yeah, I thought Sam's Club was more like Walmart than it was Costco. And yes, Andre, I've never seen a Sam's Club I don't even know. I mean, I've seen it, I think, on the internet or something, but yeah, I don't think there is a Sam's Club in our area. Oh, Sam's Club is Walmart owned. Oh, maybe that's why I think of it as, oh, okay. And let's see here. During the Depression, your great-grandfather was the busiest bootlegger in Hardeman County on the Red River. He had 19 kids, so Terry, my question for you is, 19 by the same woman? Or in his bootlegging days, did he meet a lot of ladies and ended up with 19 kids? That's my question for you. And let's see here. Are there any differences between Sam's Club and Costco? We have both in your area, but Sam's is closer. So I don't know. I've never been to a Sam's Club, so I couldn't even tell you what. I have no idea how they're different or the same. And wow, all by the same woman. Shoot, Terry, if I was that lady, I would not like your great granddad after, I don't know, the 15th kid. Oh my God. She just must be, she spent all of her life pregnant. Holy flirting snit. That's insane. That is insane. All right. That's crazy. 19 kids. Wow. You've left me speechless, man. How often does that happen? But no, Kenny from the Cove. You go to Sam's Club. So I guess my first question for you is, when you leave Sam's Club, do they check your receipt before they let you out the door? Because if they don't, then that's one difference. Is Sam's Club, does it look like it's just a big warehouse? Because Costco pretty much looks like it's just a big warehouse. God, I don't know. What other? Does Sam's Club have a food court? Let's see here. Sam's Club is the same way? Okay. And Andre's coming in. There are no Sam's Clubs in Washington, Oregon, or Alaska. That would explain why I've never seen one, I guess. But, okay, so Devin, it sounds like you have been to Sam's Club. So you are in the best position to explain, is it the same or is it different? And then, okay, they have a food court too. And Rick says, yeah, they only are checking if register missed or overcharged. I know that's what they say, but I just don't. How does that person at the door know that should have been, that item number 0113023 should have been $19.98 instead of $17.98? Or I don't believe that. I just don't. And let's see here. They don't check everybody, but they do check a lot of people. Depends on the checker by the exit. Oh yeah, no, at Costco they check everybody. They get really uppity if you don't wait in line to get checked. Let's see here. At Costco, you thought they'd check you to see if you had a Costco card. That's at the entryway, Andre. At the exit way, they check you again to look over your receipt and whatever. And look over your receipt is all I can say. And let's see here. I know Costco more, but they are similar. Sam's has Walmart products at Sam's. Oh yeah, Costco definitely does not have Walmart products. They actually, I don't even know. Oh right, Costco has their brand, which is Kirkland. It's like, I don't even know if they've got generics. Yeah, they do. It's Kirkland brand. But then they've also got a lot of brand name stuff. And let's see here. And Devin's saying that they count the items, not necessarily looking at specific items. Okay. That does make a little bit more sense. And yes, Andre, they do sell coffins at Costco. That is totally true. And let's see here. Costco be looking for the big money items. Most of the time, it's almost a walk through the door. Right. Got it. Yeah, that I guess makes sense. And Terry's saying his grandfather was the second eldest. His youngest brother was the same age as his son. Yeah, actually, Terry, that's precisely how my dad was ranked in his family. The oldest daughter my dad was the youngest of 8. And then the oldest of 8 was a daughter. And so the oldest of 8, the daughter, Alice, she had her baby one day after my dad was born. So my dad was essentially raised by his sister, and his cousin, or his niece, my cousin, his niece was raised as his sister, because his sister was sort of his mom, because by that time his mom was so old and tired of things, she kind of pawned my dad off onto, oh, you've got a baby? Well, now you've got two. Now you've got twins. Born one day apart from each other. And so yeah, when you've got that many kids, that's what's going to happen. In fact, actually, I have a friend who I think it's like his uncle is actually like 3 years younger than him or something. Like, when families have babies over a very long stretch of time, weird things happen. And exactly, Darlene, my dad grew up on a farm. It's quite common for farming families to have 11 to 14 kids, and they all learn to help out on the farm. Absolutely. That is 1000% what my family was in Indiana. My dad lived way out of town, and he actually didn't get electricity to his house until the 50s. He was 15. So let's see here. If he was 15, it would have been like 1953 or something. No, 54. 1954, my dad would have been 15. So 54 is when electricity came to his house for the first time. He lived out in the sticks. Yeah, he was from a very poor family. In fact, I didn't know that actually until I went to my dad's hometown on the way to a family reunion in North Carolina. And I had to kind of pass through. So I was like, I'll just stop in Corydon. And so I stopped in Corydon and went to this old museum, which was like the original state house, because Corydon used to be the first capital of Indiana. And then it was like the courthouse, and then it was like a jail, and then it became a museum, and blah, blah. Anyway, I went there just to see what was up. Ended up, the lady who was running the place went to school with my dad and his brothers. And so she knew exactly who I was talking about when she was like, oh, what are you doing here? Blah, blah. And I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Earl Davis. She's like, Earl Davis? Did he have an older brother named Joe? And I was just like, why, yes, he did. Oh, I knew them. And so she clued me in to a bunch of stuff about the family that my dad never talked about. And basically, they were the poorest kids in school. And they were like noticeably the poorest kids in school. Like, her eyes got really wide when she told me who I was the offspring of. So, I mean, I knew that my dad was a farm boy, but I didn't really know just how farm boy he really was. Andre, you're an only child from an only child whose dad was an only child. Yeah. My mom was an only child. My dad was, well, not. And Devin, yeah, your half-brother and you are 17 years apart. You have the same mom. Right, so if you or him, whichever one's older, went and had a kid, suddenly your little, niece could be the same age as you. Let's see here. Shock, I'm a middle child with everything that entails. Let's see here. And, oh, right, that's kind of your story, says Kenny. I'm the baby of the family, and my parents were tired when you came along. You were a denied birth control prescription away from not happening. Right, well, back in those eras, yeah, they didn't really, like to do that. And let's see here. You just looked up, and you see, you just looked up to Scabby Bugga, and I see get a Walmart coffin. Still classy, brah. So wait, what? Your brother actually bought a coffin at Walmart? Is that what I saw you guys talking about Walmart coffins, and I kind of actually specifically avoided that. But now I can't. I've got to jump right in. Wait a second. Your brother bought a Walmart coffin? That's really weird. Oh, you didn't. Well, no, I didn't say you bought him a coffin. You just checked him on LinkedIn, and what? He said that he bought one on LinkedIn? I'm so very confused. And let's see here. Your ex-wife had a brother when she was 20. Her mom had kicked her out saying, "You don't match my new sofa." Her little brother messed that sofa up. I am very confused. How would you... Did she want a child that, like, camouflaged into the sofa? I don't understand that. Okay. And Darlene, oh, I didn't know that you and your twin were the oldest. For some reason, I thought you had an older brother. But now that I remember, no, your stories are always about younger brothers being younger brothers. Yeah. And, let's see here. Oh, the doctor told your mom we're not giving you the pill. You're already pregnant. Talk about timing. Oh, wow. Yeah. No wonder she wanted the pill. She was a fertile bugger. All right. Let's see here. She's begging for it, you guys. She's just begging for it. Yeah, here we go. My little girl. My little Ashes. Looking all cute. Look at her being all scared and everything, pretending like she didn't want to be here to begin with. But she did. She was begging for it. She was begging for it, and she's purring. And she's purring. And she's right here. Yes. So. Yes, you're a cutie pie. Gina says, hi, cutie pie. All right. She's just a drama queen cat. That's exactly it. And let's see here. Hold on. You think your boss, you think your last boss, the Two-Faced One, takes the worst boss award, at least Mr. Walmart Coffin, as a whatever, overtly, right. That, at least you know that he's a jerk. He's clear about being a jerk. He's not two-faced about being the jerk. Exactly. And thanks so much, you guys. She is a beautiful kitty. I wish I could take credit for her beauty, but I cannot. She comes by it naturally. She's just the most beautiful black kitten ever. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, that huge family scattered across the country from Michigan to California. Only your Uncle Glenn remained at home. Oil was discovered on his property, and his brothers and sisters fought for a piece of it. Huh. Well, now. It's an interesting situation now, isn't there, Terry? It's the family homestead, and I'm the only one that stayed. And now who gets the oil? I don't know, man. I mean, fairness dictates that all the kids should get a piece, but all you all left me holding the bag. And now the bag is full of oil. I think the bag is mine. I feel like, I'm very curious how that worked out, Terry, because that sounds like a family drama right there. That sounds like a Lifetime miniseries that could happen. I feel like there could be some bloodshed. I feel like there's a lot of things that could come out of that kind of situation when you got oil money. Got that oil money. And, Andre, the word of Walmart coffin kind of sounds like a code word for a low-cost hit on somebody. That's cute. That's funny. And, let's see here. Shock. I'm not sure. I declined to listen to that offer now that you mention it. Nice. And, Kenny from the Cove, coffin salesperson. Is that a dead-end job or what? No, honey bunches, not at all, because the pipeline to death starts at everyone. Only a couple things that we know in life: death and taxes, and the need for plumbing. But everyone forgets that part. So we're just going to focus on death and taxes. You got somebody in the coffin, you're going to have another one lined up pretty soon. You always got fresh meat. Always got fresh meat to bury in the ground. And, let's see here. Heck, my ancestor killed his brother-in-law over a cow thief accusation, let alone money. Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, let alone money. Yeah, exactly. Money, oil, does strange things to people. Exactly. And so let's see here. Glenn's son, Tommy, inherited all that oil money he spent. He opened a barbecue restaurant a few years ago. Okay, well, right on. So Glenn got to, yeah, no, I knew what you were doing, Kenny, with a little wordplay. Yeah, Glenn got to keep the money then. Excellent. That makes me kind of happy, actually. And let's see here. Yep, the poorest neighborhoods do have a lot of funeral homes. That is for sure. Speaking of funeral homes, and I don't know why. Hey, oh, Gil! Hey, Gil, good to see you. Mr. Smarty Mouth Gil Soto in the house, coming in with good ideas. He created a brand new identity for me, and I won't tell it to you. You'll have to watch last stream to find out what my new identity is. That's right. And eMusic, did I not say hi to you earlier? I feel like I didn't. Have I seen you here yet? Sorry I missed you if I did see you. Ah, that's right. That's right. Oh, hell, Elle. You got it. You got it. Alrighty then, let's see here. So, I guess we've got about 8 minutes left. I don't know what else we've got to do here. Oh, I know what we can do here. Yep, exactly. It's you. One Texas Howley. You've got it. Oh, okay, you've just been lurking the last half hour. Excellent. Glad that you were lurking in K. We love our little K folks, but we love it when the lurkers pop up and say, hi, hi. All right, well, if you were here last Wednesday, that is, I showed you this picture. I showed you this picture of the Seattle city skyline. This picture, I will remind you in case you weren't here, is from the eastern side of well, it's from Bellevue, basically. It's on the east side of Lake Washington, looking west, and that's the city of Seattle skyline, and then it's the Olympic Mountains, and that is looking west. And if you look real closely in the very middle, you can kind of see the Space Needle above the clouds. So that's looking west, right? Well, I found a picture that's similar but different, only it's looking east. So we've got to the west, as I said last week, the Olympic Mountains. And to the east, if you look at this, look way in the background where that mountainous skyline is. Those are the Cascade Mountains. And that city on the water, that is Seattle. And that protruding piece of land in the forefront, that is West Seattle. So, if you wonder to yourself, how is it that there is a West Seattle when the west of Seattle is Watcher? This is how there is a West Seattle. Because there is still a landmass to the west of Seattle. And even though you guys don't live here, I wanted to show you this picture because it's an awesome picture. And I live here, so I like it. All right, there we go. Boop. And Gil, you caught the end of the oil and money conversation. Sounded like an episode of Dallas. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It sounds like it totally could have been an episode of Dallas. But it sounds like Uncle Glenn got to keep his money. So it sounds like either Uncle Glenn killed a bunch of people or it wasn't nearly that exciting and the other people were like, all right, you can keep it. In which case, there's no Dallas episode. There's no Lifetime miniseries. There's no nothing. And let's see here. Andre coming in. Yes, there is a West Seattle. And it's where Seattleites go to the beach at Alki Beach. That is partially true, Andre. There's another set of beach on the north end of town called Golden Gardens. People go there too. But Alki is way cooler. Alki has fire pits. Alki has volleyball nets. Alki has a street that you can cross. You can go get ice cream at the other side of the street, or you can get some beers, or you can get some seafoods, or you can get a hamburger, or you can get a clam chowder, or you can get a margarita, or you can get a pizza, or you can get some fish and chips, or you can get some coffee. There's These are all different establishments that I'm thinking of as I say different stuff. So yeah, Alki is definitely more fun than Golden Gardens because it's got a lot more stuff. But Seattle does technically have 2 beaches that have sand on them and everything. As a South End, West End person, I'm all about the Alki. But people on the northern end of the city, they're all about the Golden Gardens. So I'm not going to leave them out, even though they're wrong. Alki's better, but whatever. And Mama Sean totally coming in with the reality, which is Spud's Fish and Chips. It's where you want to go if you're on Alki and you want some fishies and some chippies. There's another place further up the street called Sunfish. They have good fish and chips too, but Spud's is better. Spud's is better. And let's see here, Andre, I'm all about the Alki. One day you will get a parking place there. Maybe. Maybe. And Mama Sean coming in. North End Girl, Golden Gardens, or Mukilteo. Exactly. That is precisely it. And Mama Sean knows what's up. She knows what's up. Let's see here. Oh, cool. And Terry's throwing down with the website to his nephew Tommy's barbecue joint, or cousin Tommy's barbecue joint. I'm not sure what his blood relation is to Terry, but we know he's his kin. Okay, it's Terry's kinfolk. Terry's kinfolk got himself a barbecue restaurant. And let's see here, Andre. The last time you went to Alki, they had a lowrider meet. Oh yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, and I know exactly where they had it. And that park is where a lot of car clubs meet. And in fact, some days the car clubs clearly do not coordinate with each other, because some days the lowriders and the hot rods and the old people's cars or whatever, they all accidentally meet there at once, and so then it's so crowded, and then the boaters get really pissed off because they're just like, this actually is a boat launch, y'all. But yeah, well, you know. The lowriders don't care. And Mama Sean, you made fun of your cousin that they lived in West Seattle. We lived in Wedgwood. And I can tell you right now, my friend, they made fun of you too. West Seattle knows that it kind of sucks hind tit when it comes to Seattle. And we are okay with that. We make fun of everybody else. Because Wedgwood, that's some hoit with some toit right there. Wedgwood, get out the Wedgwood if you be living in Wedgwood. That is for sure. And let's see here. Oh, what are you guys talking about? Shock and Lady Misty are talking about something weird. Can you do a Google search for... Look what Alice did. What is going... Okay, I don't even know. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, no, I'm not going to have to figure this out. I'm just going to ask. Shock, Lady Misty, what flying fork are you guys talking about? It's trippy that this information exists. What information? I want to know. And there's so much more to learn always. Flying forks, Kenny. Yeah, but nobody's telling me what they're talking about, and now I'm all in the alley like that. So nosy. An ancestress of yours accused another good wife of causing her miscarriage and beat the snot out of her back in the day when people were called Goody Kate. Oh. That is really weird that all that stuff is online like that. 1661. Crazy. Crazy. All right. And so, what's going on in June? Because I'm also gnarly like that. It got written down. Yes, it did get written down. Yes, it did. So, apparently, Goody Kate, she got her ass whooped. And we're still talking about it 400 years later. Kind of sucks to be her, huh? All right, you guys, now that we're done, making fun of old-timey names and people, no, Goody Cat delivered the whooping. Oh, Goody Cat delivered the whooping. Well, we're still talking about it 400 years later. Andre, thank you so much for the bits. I definitely appreciate this. All right, you guys, we're 1 minute past the bottom of the hour. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out and being very patient with the idea that we didn't have a lot to talk about today, but we still managed to fill that hour and a half. Hopefully we will see each other on Tuesday at Andy Boomatai's show, but if we don't see each other on Tuesday, I hope we see each other on Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, YouTube and Twitch for Chatter with Statter. And hold on 1 second. The Mexican grandfather used to see Pancho Villa. Your Mexican grandfather used to see Pancho Villa being chased by the U.S. cavalry. Wow, totally trippy. That's so cool, you guys. We have our own little history lesson right here. That is so awesome that you guys know so much about your little ancestries. All right, so yeah, I mean, I'm just super stoked. Pancho Villa, are you kidding me? That's so awesome. I mean, it's not awesome that he was being chased, but you know, it happened. We have no control of that. But that's really cool that you're like this close to historic fame. And yeah, exactly, Andre. Yeah, people do forget that. Yes, people do. And oh, shock, your ancestor got off the Mayflower and croaked within 2 months. Typical. Nice. My family came a little after the Mayflower, but we had, I guess, land grants given to us by the King of France somehow that got us here. And you can trace my lineage back to both sides of my family have been on the North American continent since before America was America and Canada was Canada. In fact, the Canadian side of my family fought on the wrong side of the Revolutionary War, and so they had to move to Canada after the Revolutionary War. My dad's side of the family, they apparently chose the right side, so they got to stay. Either way, every historical awfulness that has taken place by white people in the North American continent, my family's been here to witness it and perhaps even perpetuate it. That's neat. But hey, it is what it is. We can't help where we come from. And let's see here. You have Canucks in your lineage as well. Yep. Yeah, my mom was the Canadian, and so I do have a recent immigrant in my life. My mom, she was never even American, but I hardly consider Canadian to be like a national identity, let alone an ethnicity. I say to the offense of all the Canadians in the world. Yeah, sorry. Devin, once when you were in preschool, you asked your mom what sailing on the Mayflower was like. She was not amused. Yeah. No. Oh, Devin. She didn't have that many gray hairs. You couldn't possibly have given her that many gray hairs. Then again, that older brother of yours maybe might have. Or is he older brother? Well, anyway. Yeah. All right. So, let's see here. The ancestors came to Texas from Spain in 1839. The last leg of the trip was on a slave frigate. Oh, wow. Wow, that is so crazy, dude. We really could have a little history lesson just with all our relative talk. But we're not going to do that because we're already 5 minutes past the bottom of the hour. So, save these stories up, you guys. Maybe we can talk about them on Wednesday. And I hope to see you guys on Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. There we go. I know, I think we do have a topic for next time. So you guys, as your homeworks is, go ask your parents about your family history. And maybe when we come back to class, we can draw a family tree. Or not. All right, you guys. I will catch y'all later. Thank you so much for making this chat super awesome. Take care, my